Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the First News newspaper. The major story here says, fuel scarcity. Nigerians groan as Tinubu marks day one in office. Petrol pump price rises to 1,200 per litre. Filling stations refuse to sell product. You find all the details on the front page of the First News newspaper. To the Guardian newspaper now. Morning after inauguration, nationwide chaos. Pain as stakeholders seek caution on subsidy removal. Nationwide chaos, pain as stakeholders seek caution on subsidy removal. You'll find all the details on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. To the Nigerian News Direct. Blame game, fuel subsidy removal, Buhari's decision. Tinubu is saying this. Blame game, fuel subsidy removal, Buhari's decision. You find the detail on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. And to the Daily Sun, still towing the line of the petrol subsidy removal, President's subsidy removal statement. Don't dare Nigerians, NLC warns Tinubu. Don't dare Nigerians, NLC warns Tinubu. All the details on the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper. And to the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Tinubu's subsidy removal remark. Labour talks tough. Queues spread, petrol prices rise. Labour talks tough. Queues spread, petrol prices rise. You find all the details of this story on the front page. And some writers there, governors warn against panic buying, go after marketers. Federal government owes NNPCL 2.8 trillion naira. Milikari, the CEO of the NNPCL, speaking there. Kemi.
This Nigeria is next, and it's still on the issue of fuel subsidy, as it says long queues resurface in Abuja, Lagos, as well as in major cities. That's on this Nigeria. Similarly, leadership is also reporting that the fuel pump price has hit 600 naira in some states. The Punch is next. Subsidy still. Fuel sells 600 naira per litre. Queues worsen as filling stations shut. Let's see what Daily Independent has on the issue of the fuel subsidy. It says fare hike as fuel queues swell. Product sells above 600 naira per litre. The TUC there, the Trade Union Congress, is reacting, saying Tinubu cannot unilaterally remove fuel subsidy. The NLC, that's the Labour Congress, is also cautioning him, asking the president not to dare Nigerians. On business day, petrol to sell between 478 naira and 600 naira per litre as subsidy goes. It also adds that commuters lament as transporters hike fares. NNPC says FG owes 2.8 trillion naira for subsidy payments. On Daily Trust, subsidy removal, petrol hike hits 700 naira per litre as FG says no going back. Subsidy removal, petrol price hits 700 naira per litre, no going back, the federal government says. All right, let's see the blueprint. Pump price now at 700 naira per litre, queues return nationwide. Commuters groan over 250% fare hike. That's on blueprint. This day is next, towing a slightly different line, saying investors react positively as Tinubu meets Emefiele, as well as Kyari and Labour over petrol subsidy. Investors reacting positively, this day says. On The Nation, it's also about the stock market gaining 1.5 trillion naira, it says, over President Tinubu's policy direction. Stock price gains 1.5 trillion naira. That's on The Nation. Finally, is Nature News. 90% of textile waste in Africa, Asia, come from Europe. That's from a report being published there on the Nature News. Veronica.
Right, Kemi, let's quickly look at this matter of fuel subsidy removal and the reactions trailing that statement. We saw that long queues have returned to various locations across the country: Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, everywhere. There's been long queues and the pricing has varied. Just this morning, I heard someone say that in Ebonyi, they are buying the petrol at 1,200 per litre. And some other persons are saying in their own areas, they're buying petrol at about 600 naira. We're just having varying prices. And that is not sitting well with some governors who shut some stations yesterday. They were cautioning marketers and fueling stations that if they were not going to sell this product at the regular price, they were going to shut down their stations. And so they did that. And other governors have come out to make same threat to the same line, warning marketers to take caution because they believe that what we are seeing is artificial scarcity because NNPCL has said that they have enough product on the ground. And there has also been talks that the matter of subsidy removal is to begin much later because the product available now still has a subsidy, was subsidized by the government. And so marketers should not be taking advantage of Nigerians. But Labour is kicking, saying that that statement is not sitting well with them and they want the government to reverse that policy as quickly as possible.
Well, Labour will understandably kick, but the way I see it, the Petroleum Industry Act doesn't provide for the fuel subsidy removal. So I don't know how far Labour's argument will go on this, but the takeaway for me is that there is need for more consultation on the issue across board, across stakeholders. Of course, Labour cannot be shut out. And the president has also spoken about the need to do that. I'm sure that we're going to get to hear more about, that. He met with the NNPC and, a host of some stakeholders on his first day of office. And but of course, that's not, sidelining the impact that Nigerians are having the hardship Nigerians are having to face as a result. And, many people have said it is absolutely needless, which I also agree on. It's needless. The exiting of the former administration of, Muhammadu Buhari had already said that there was going to be a leeway for the payment of subsidies until the end of June. And here we are. June is just starting tomorrow. And another, I think NNPC also said that, yes, the president has said this, which they are on all fours with, but it's not like it's taken off immediately. The policy hasn't, or rather, the regime hasn't, taken off under Fola-Tinubu's administration. So Nigerians should, should take it easy on themselves. And it's also interesting that the oil marketers, at least Ipman, has been reported to hail the decision. Mo1 the major oil marketers group, has also been said to hail the decision. So we want to see some more enforcement. It's good that governors are talking about the issue to monitor and clamp down on airing filling stations, because 1,200 per litre, even 600 is outrageous, even 300 is outrageous, and talk less of people taking it as far. But then again, there have always been issues in many states.
Transportation.
Before now, many of us in Lagos usually have it, of course, it's rough at a point, but eventually it eases out, at least over the past episodes of fuel scarcity. But in other states, it's worse. So
yes, because of transportation
absolutely.
costs.
So this is not exactly new, but we are hoping that all agencies, everyone, all groups, all stakeholders will come together at this point now to nip this in the bud. NNPC has said that they are ready, they have the supplies and all that, but people are also looking up to NNPC to be transparent. And I take Labour's argument that the people should not be made to suffer for the inefficiencies of past governments. I take that point, but at the same time, we also need more engagement. We also need more knowledge about this. We said earlier on that the issue of fuel subsidy removal is not strange on Nigerians. During the intense campaigns, all the major political the candidates were agreeable on this point.
Yes,
and
all the major presidential candidates, yes,
Nigerians took their sides. Eventually, you can argue the numbers, what Tinubu had, at the polls, but eventually you could argue that Nigerians voted for the removal, seen as,
the concern for a majority of Nigerians was the matter of the statement being made on the day of inauguration. They are looking at how the matter was approached. They had agreed, a majority of Nigerians had come to the agreement that the matter of fuel subsidy has to be removed, but their concern was the way it was said, knowing how emotional Nigerians are with the matter of fuel subsidy.
Essential commodity.
And so they felt that perhaps the conversation could have been had much later, while the president resumes office and he gets into the business, as against the day of inauguration. And there are those who have also argued that he needed to make that statement for, we know that we had world leaders present at the inauguration, and so for them to have a sense of his policy direction, perhaps that was why he made that statement. But whichever way, the statement has been made, and how we cushion the effect, how we manage the situation in the coming days is what is of most importance to a majority of Nigerians right now. And we hope that the government will do that as quickly as possible. We hear that the president will be having meetings with Labour as well as the CBN governor and also NNPCL to understand how they can manage the situation.